All right.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're really excited to be doing this. We kind of came up with this idea. We're kind of quick. Jared and I and Adrian. We're really happy that Coach was able to join us. We're everybody kind of going through some football withdrawals right now, but we figured this would be a great opportunity to kind of get our subscribers from both entities kind of together and a chance to talk to Coach in a more one-on-one level. So we're really excited. For subscribers from Alamodome Audible, my name's Javi. I'm the publisher for birdsup.com, the UTSA rival site. And I'll let Jerry introduce himself and then Adrian.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Javi. So my name is Jared Calamus. For those of you guys that don't know me, I'm UTSA class of 2014. Got my BBA in information systems and studied cybersecurity as well. And we've been doing Alamodome Audible for 3 years, I think. But I go way back with covering UTSA, all the way going back to the Coker Chronicles, if you guys remember that one. So yeah, thanks for all of you guys that have been following along and supporting us. And Adrian, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, what's good, everybody? Adrian here with Alamodome Audible Podcast. Been co-hosting with Jared for 3-4 years now. I like your little UTSA bio. I graduated 2015. Was a member of the marching band, drumline for a year. Wrote for Paisano for a year, and doing the podcast for a few years. Of course, season ticket football holder, baby, going on 4 years as well.
Coach, we're really happy you could join us. I know this kind of came together kind of quick, but we're really happy that, you were able to join us to talk to the fans, just, a few people that, are here with us. So really appreciate it. Jared, if you want to start off with any questions.
Yeah, so we have a list of questions we came up with here. We'll probably throw some at you off the cuff as well. One of the first questions we want to ask you, Coach, is whenever you were first looking at this opportunity at UTSA and, just thinking if it's something you wanted to go after or not, what did you see as like the biggest selling point for UTSA, or maybe something that you felt can make a larger impact, not just at UTSA, but in the community in general, and, bring to this community and help it grow?
Well, I've had my eye on this place for a while. When I was a high school coach, I would always, a lot of high school guys had jumped into the college world that were friends of mine that have been very successful because of their connections or maybe their offensive philosophies. From a distance, I'd been watching it for a while. And then when I had the opportunity to work at the University of Texas, I really started putting my eye on jobs that I thought I really wanted to get. And this is the one I targeted even more. And then I knew with our success recruiting and maybe some of those awards that I was lucky enough to win because I was on a great staff with a bunch of guys that recruited very well, I knew that was going to put me in the mix. So that's what it started. So to answer your question, why, and what do I plan on doing? It started with the city of San Antonio. I know that's a place you can recruit to. It's a multicultural city. So a lot of our recruits in our locker room are going to resonate with that. So that's where it started with the city of San Antonio and all the things it had to offer. I mean, we can go on and on and on about all the things the city has to offer, but I know we're limited time here. Yeah, the next thing was the university. The university was a well-respected university, growing, and in the University of Texas system. So I knew that was a plus as well. The Alamodome, I knew was a plus. I knew the area very well, from San Antonio to the Hill Country to Corpus, to the Valley. There's just a lot of area schools that feel loyal to UTSA, and they feel like we're their school. And that really resonated with me. Then the Texas High School coaches, that I knew them all. And if I didn't know them, I'd coached against them. Some way we had interacted. Maybe I spoke at a clinic, helped them out on a napkin, withdrawing a play. Who knows? There's some connection along the way. So those are the things that attracted me to the job. And I've always thought once we got the facility, the race building up and going, there's nothing that could stop us from being one of the best teams in this conference. And I still feel that way, more strongly today than I even did then.
I'll go here next. And Coach, now that you've had a little bit of time in the program, in the city, what do you see as the biggest opportunity as UTSA, just, football in general, but as a department as a whole? what are some opportunities that you see that, where can they grow? How can they move forward?
Well, we want to be, we want the city to be proud of us, first of all. So as much community involvement as we can do. We've been kind of hurt here, the last few months. We've all been, I don't know if it's been months. It seems like it's been months, probably 6 weeks, I guess. We've been kind of hindered and locked down. But we want to be something the city's very proud of, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we act off the field first and foremost. And then we know what keeps you guys going and what keeps me guys going. We got to go win ball games. That's what people want to see. They want to win. And that starts with great players, which starts with recruiting and developing players. And so that's my plan, what I want to do here. And we want to help off the field as much as we can, but on the field, we got to go recruit great players to start winning some ball games.
Hey, Coach, thanks for joining us. I hope you and yours are doing well here during the lockdown and the quarantine.
Thanks, Adrian.
Wanted to ask you a little bit. Yeah, I've heard you talk a lot about San Antonio, and it really makes me excited that you love the city as much and you see as much opportunity that is in that city that's really there. But I want to talk to you a little about East Texas. The East Texas pipeline is real. We've seen that from your very first commitment day, and that was a really exciting last 4-day streak that we had. Can you just tell us a little bit about your East Texas story, about where you come from and kind of how it's shaped you, and maybe a little bit about what we can expect out of the East Texas football player?
It starts with my mom and dad. My dad was a 40-year educator. He was a principal, school teacher, counselor, led the music at the Baptist church. So I was in the church, every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday. My mother was a piano player at the church as well. She was a 40-year school teacher. So I was raised with 2 educators. She played the piano, like I said. So I was in a church or a school pretty much my raising. Pretty simple living. I was actually raised in Gilmer as well. I thought going to Stephen F. Austin State University and playing football, I was so country. I thought I was going like the University of Texas. I thought I was going to A&M. I thought I was going to Stephen F. Austin. To me is like the bomb, man.
Jax, baby. Yeah.
So,
Jax.
I was small town now, and I had an opportunity to be a GA at SFA. I was going to do that, but one of my high school coaches offered me the offensive coordinator job, Big Sandy, Texas, making $19,000, a year. And I was only going to make $6,000 being a GA. So I'm like, that's 300% more. I mean, I'm rich. Go to Big Sandy and coach some ball, right? And I did that for 4 years. I was a head basketball coach, and I was having a blast. And out of nowhere, Danny Long called me from Jacksonville and said, I heard you're as good a coach as there is around. And I've got these 3 kids named McCowan coming, Randy, Josh, and Luke. And we're going to win a bunch of ball games. And I hear you're the best coach around. I want you to come be with us and coach those kids. And if he hadn't made that call, I might still be in Big Sandy. Who knows where I'd be right now. But I went to Jacksonville, got to coach Randy McCowan. He went to A&M and led them to a Big 12 championship. Josh McCowan, who's still in the National Football League after about 20 years, it seems like. And Luke McCowan, who, was a backup for the Saints for years. So that all that winning with those kids got me the head coaching job at my alma mater in 2000. They weren't very good. Hadn't had a winning season in a while. Hadn't made the playoffs in a decade. And we won 6. And they thought I should have been the mayor. Then we won 8. Then we won 10. Then we won 13. Then we won our first state championship ever, 2004. And those last 10 years, it got crazy. We either played for it or won it almost every year. And if we did lose, we got beat by somebody, that won the state championship. I had made my mind up. I had opportunities to go to college, but my children were so young. I was teaching Sunday school, coaching them in upwards basketball, little league baseball coach, took them to school every single day. I just didn't want to give that up. And but then Charlie Strong called as my children were older. Carrie and I started pretty young. So Jordan's 26, Jake's 22, and JC's 20. So it allowed me an opportunity to speed up my career because I knew if I went to the University of Texas, I could become a head coach pretty quick. And so that's kind of my East Texas story, and just won a bunch of ball games with a bunch of great players. And that town, we built a new stadium, new field house, new baseball field, new softball field, 2 new practice fields, new girls facilities, and with no bond money. All just fundraising, people believe in the program, and very similar, just like this place, all the potential in the world. a place that it's unlimited what we can do. We just got to roll our sleeves up, man, and go to work. And it's going to take all of us now. It's going to take y'all too. This thing's not going to go it's not going to be just smooth sailing. I'm not going to stay undefeated forever. And we all got to believe in this thing. And I'm going to make mistakes. My kids are going to make mistakes. I'm an imperfect human coaching imperfect people. Therefore, there's going to be imperfection. Whichever staff, whichever community, whichever administration can handle the imperfection the best will end up being the greatest, strongest program. And that's where we got to be and believe in that.
Wow. Yeah, well said, Coach. So I want to piggyback off Adrian's question a little bit. So, even before your time at UTSA, something that we've seen is the East Texas players. I mean, they could just be on another level. Some of the best players we've seen come through UTSA, unrecruited, 2-star, maybe had 1 or 2 offers from FCS programs. And these guys showed up and they played at the highest level of football with, naturally from day one as a freshman. In your opinion, what is it about these East Texas players that make them kind of outperform expectations so regularly?
There's 2 things. One, it's a hard place to recruit. The hotels, the college coaches would rather stay in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. The hotels are, they're nicer. They're more of a upper star hotel. Internet, Wi-Fi, your Google on your phone, it doesn't work real well in East Texas. I mean, every one of these Zoom meetings I'm doing my East Texas kids right now, it's inevitably. It goes away. It stops. It's comical. But I love them. That's where I'm from. So that doesn't bother me. I understand that kid, and there's almost a sense of desperation there because they know that's their way out. They know football is their ticket. There are a lot of first generation scholarships coming out of there. So you're right. They don't have the stars because you know what? I can't mention names right now, but some of those 9 kids we got committed, 2 of them are working jobs all the time. They're working 60-hour weeks right now, and they're going to school, and they're working out. That's just a different kind of hunger. So they all play multiple sports. They play football. They play basketball. They run track. So guess what? Their bodies are lean. They're not very bulked up yet. They're raw. So y'all are going to have to kind of trust me a little bit because a lot of our commits might not have the stars. I asked y'all to give me 4 years. It's easy to talk about Alan Horace. I mean, he's a 4-star. Everybody in the country wanted him. We beat out a lot of great – that's not going to happen a ton here. Now, eventually, we'll get this thing rolling, and we'll be able to do that more. But that's kind of not going to be the way our program's built. Our program's going to be built more on what you're talking about, going down the valley, the Corpus area, the Hill Country, East Texas, and finding these 2-star, 3-star kids that nobody knows about and bringing them here and winning a bunch of ball games, and then we can attract that. I don't look at stars. Now, I understand you guys – make your money off that, and everybody likes it. It's fun to talk about. But at the end of the day, y'all want to know how good my class is in 4 years. It's nice to know this last class was the 3rd rated as far as the quality of the star, whatever that is. But at the end of the day, how many games those guys win in about 4 years, what's going to matter the most?
And, kind of piggybacking off the recruiting point, how hard has it been or how difficult has it been to adapt to recruiting more of like this, right? More of through Zoom or just virtually, I guess. What have been some of the challenges? What have been some of the maybe benefits of it, in your opinion?
It took us a little while to adapt, but we got to moving quick. We knew social media was going to be huge quick. So Charles did a great job, and we got out there in the social media war pretty quick. So that put us in front for a little bit. Then I knew Zoom was coming. And I knew virtual tours were coming. So we had to get in front of that because, we're all competitors. Those guys we're competing against, they're trying to feed their families too. It's a great – competition's great. So our staff did a really good job of getting going to Zoom meetings. We've got Zoom 1, Zoom 2s. We reserve 8 to 1 to be with our current players and our current coaching staff every day. We reserve 1 till midnight some nights for Zoom meetings. So if I were to show you my schedule today, it was comical. We've hit 16 recruits today. I was talking about Zoom or FaceTime in a day, plus a Conference USA meeting this morning, plus my offensive staff meetings, defensive staff meetings, meet with my players, recruiting, boosters. It's just we've had to adapt. But, with 9 commits, you can tell it's we've got some momentum going right now. It's not as good, obviously. I think with my connections, the coaches are going to give us accurate data about how tall they really are, how fast they really are. So I'm going to trust some buddies and evaluate off a lot of game video. And that's, you understand, the game video is just a piece. That's why y'all's jobs are so hard, trying to evaluate off a game video. If you get them to count and you actually get real measurables, and you watch them practice and you watch game video, it's hard to mess up. It's hard to mess that up. But when you only go off a game video, that's tough, man. For the greatest evaluators, my son coached for the Saints. He's been here for 6 weeks. I've watched them do this with their draft right now. It's hard to go off game video.
And a follow-up on that, do you think some of this more of online recruiting, a lot of the Zooms, a lot of, just virtual stuff, is that something you see that is going to stay past the quarantine, past, this what's going on right now into the future?
No doubt. I don't think it'll take the place of camps. I don't think it'll take the place of spring recruiting. I think it'll be another feature to maybe the parent, like an East Texas kid. They're working 60 hours a week. Mom and dad are working too. Can't get them down here. They can't see the place. We can show it to them a lot easier. Does that make sense? They'll be more. It'll make them more comfortable. You'd be shocked how many high school kids, if you just said last year, "Hey, let's have a Zoom meeting," they look at you like you had 9 heads on your shoulder. Now, when you ask a kid about a Zoom meeting, 90% of the kids go, "Oh yeah, my mom and dad are comfortable doing that."
Excellent.
Yeah, Coach. I want to circle back to a point that you made. Before here at UTSA, we've gotten excited about stars before, and it hasn't panned out over the course of years. And you talk about developing raw talent, having guys being able to come up and get better at what they do. What are some of your processes for making sure guys can get there? They got all the talent in the world, but need the form, need the fine-tuning.
Well, it starts with your strength and conditioning coach. That I think Ryan Philo is very, very good. There are not very many head coaches that come in and keep the strength guy. Usually that's one of the first guys you're going to remove and get your own guy in. But I interviewed, and I don't know how familiar y'all are with all this, but I allowed each kid. I didn't recruit these kids. They got to choose me right now. I mean, they didn't have to stay. They could have all left, and I wasn't in the business of running anybody off. I didn't win all those football games by running kids off. I mean, anybody can run them off. Who can get them to play? That's what a real coach is. I mean, who can get them to play? So when I interviewed, I'd say 68 of them, if I had to guess, set up an interview with me. And I asked each one of them to give me the 3 things they thought were the best qualities of UTSA. And every single kid said Ryan Philo. So then my first thought, he must be too nice. If every one of them love him that much, he must be too nice. So I brought him in. I just grilled him. I mean, I got at him. I was trying to run him off. And he spit nails right back at me. He loves my energy. He loves my passion. He loves my juice. And he matches it every day. So that's where it starts. It starts with him and developing my job is to make every single student athlete the very best he can be, whatever that is. They all can't be Sincere McCormick. They all can't be Rashad Wisdom. They all can't be Micah. They all can't be Spencer. They each have their own set of qualities and strengths. And my job is to do that. Now, the next piece of that is then you had to be a good enough football coach to put that kid in a position where he can be successful when you're teaching him technique. And then when that matches and you get enough recruiting, get enough technique, scheme matches, your strength coach gets them conditioned, and as strong as they can be, you start winning football games. And if it were that easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy. It's very hard. It's a long process. It takes time. It's not an overnight fix. And we all got to trust the process. And I know it's why that culture piece, I know everybody gets tired of hearing about me on that culture piece, but it's our kids right now, you ask any of our 90 players what we're discussing this week, they're going to say, we're starting back over the top, pinky finger, pinky promise, men of integrity, people that can do the right thing when no one's looking, people that can do the right thing when it gets rough. And those culture pillars are going to be what hold us through these times in the very beginning. Because right now it's a tough time. Right now it's tough. I mean, these kids aren't here. They're having to go to school, do all their schoolwork. This is a tough time for new coaches.
Yeah. on that note, what has recruiting during this time taught you about the recruiting process? Have you learned anything new about the process? Have you learned anything about players? What have you tried to focus on?
It's still relationships. Kids want two things. They want to know you can make them better, and they really don't care how you treat them if you can make them better. But if you do love them and you do really take care of them, there's nothing they won't do for you. And I've got 30 years of doing this. My players got me this job. I mean, they're the ones that got me the job. 30 years of players. And what's crazy, my 26-year-old son predicted. He's like, Dad, I know you hate social media and you think it's like just so bad. He said, Dad, let me tell you some good things about it. The players have a lot bigger voice than they used to have. And the players, they almost got me the SMU job. I mean, I was running up for that job, when Sonny got it. And I'm thrilled for Sonny. But those players were the reason I almost got that job. And the players in the state of Texas and the players when I was at Arkansas, those guys know I can make them better. And they know I really do care for them, and I'm going to take care of them. It's still the same. Recruiting's recruiting. Relationships are what matters. Got to get mom on board. Got to find out who's most important. And most of the time, that's mama. We got to get mama level, and we're in good shape.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Coach, I'm glad you mentioned your time with Coach Morris because one of the things we wanted to ask you is pretty famously, I think it was the class of 2017, but Coach Morris took an entire Texas-based recruiting class one year. Every single kid he signed that year at SMU was out of state of Texas. Is that something that you would ever consider doing? I mean, do you want to kind of cast a wide net, or are you Texas first 100% all the way?
Yeah, we're San Antonio first, and we're going to work our way out. We will have to have a special relationship with the kid outside of the state to go there. There'll have to be something, maybe the high school coach, maybe a former player I've coached, just some relationship that would take us there. Like Ernesto from LA. We had a relationship there. LA, believe it or not, the people there see San Antonio very similar, so they're very comfortable with San Antonio. So the people in LA, and you got to understand about in Texas, I believe there's like 8 junior colleges that play football. And I could be off by 1 or 2 there. But in Cali, I want to say there's 68 to 80 somewhere in there. There's just a lot more players out there. So if we already have connections out there, which we do, my coaches, that's how we got Ernesto. So of the 17 kids, 16 were from the state of Texas. 1 was from LA. So I'm not going to say I'm going to be all Texas. And even Chad took some grad transfers and some other things from other states. Just the kids he signed, you're correct. They were all from the state of Texas. But I won't be a 100%. But the Texas high school coaches are going to know I'm starting in this state and working out because it offends the Texas high school coach when they see you going out. If we supposedly play the best football, and if we had the most players drafted out of our state, to leave the state where you've got all the connections to get all the players upsets that fraternity, and that fraternity is very important to me.
Coach, you mentioned a little bit about how Chad took transfers that one year. How do you see, transfers have always been around, but it's a little more prevalent now with the transfer portal. How do you see the transfer portal playing into your team building moving forward into this year and your tenure here?
Well, if you notice, I had 21 potential initials last year. I only used 17. I could have signed all 21. So, and guess what that would have done? I would have had more recruiting points, and I'd have been rated higher. And, it's just not what it's about, man. At the end of Bill Parcells said it best. You are what your record says you are. It does not ever say you are what your recruiting ranking says you are. It's fun. I get it. I'm going to help y'all. I'm going to be involved in it because it's fun. It fulfills us from January all the way back to August. It keeps the fans excited, and I'm all about it. I understand it. But it's not the most important piece of that. So, anyway, I kind of lost my thought there on what you asked me originally, Javi. I apologize.
On how the transfer portal is going to kind of play into your team building.
So we saved 4. We saved 4. I would say we would generally save 4 to 5 because also you have to understand this, man. I'm not going to overcommit a class. So I'm not going to take 22 commitments if I've only got 17 initials because I won't get back in those high schools. I'm one of those guys. I wouldn't want to do that to a child anyway. But I'm not going to overcommit a class. So we're going to always try to save 4 or 5 for grad transfers. in the portal and recruit to that number. So next year, it looks like our number will be 21 again. It's if everything stays the same right now. So we're looking at 17. We've got 9 committed. We've got 8 to go. But hey, you know how that is. It ain't got started till December. That's when it really gets rolling. We're just having a little fun right now. I tell them all the time, we're all dating. We're all flirting and dating right now. And all those commits did. We just became engaged. We're engaged right now to get married in December, and let's just get them to the altar, man, and get them married.
Hey, Coach, with this delay, how difficult do you think it's going to be to implement your offense and your defense for the first time? If it's going to be so much later, if it's training camp's going to be the earliest you can get guys on the field.
It's scary, man. I don't want to be like that, but I mean, I'm not going to put kids out on the field without them having a chance. But at the same time, I'm not going to put them out there trying to execute a bunch of plays we don't have time to get good at. So I would imagine you're going to see a much simpler version, and y'all are going to be up there really second-guessing a lot, going, man, that's all we got? We don't have anything other than that? Well, it's not easy, man. It's hard to score on air. You got 11 guys on air. You could not score sometimes. So I've got great kids. I love them. They are working their tails off for me. They're on Zoom meetings every day. If we could play LSU in a Zoom contest, we're some Zoom savants. Unfortunately, we're going to put that ball down and go play on that football field. And so I would expect a smaller version of all of it. Special teams, defense, offense, and hopefully what you'll see is some kids that really believe in their coach. And I don't know you never know the wins and losses. You never know. But I hope each week you go, man, those guys just keep getting better. Wow, they're getting better. Yeah. Wow, we're cleaner. Hey, we got a couple of new plays in this week. What do you know? Hey, that's the way I see it. I'm afraid it's going to be August, hey, show up August. You got a week to get them in shape, 2 or 3 weeks to get them ready to play and go play a ball game. That's what I'm scared. I'm terrified of that, man. I can't imagine a worst case scenario for a new head coach than that and get LSU robbed. You say you want to be a college football coach.
Here's LSU. Coach, a couple more questions before we get you out. Obviously, Conference USA, especially the West Side, is a little bit more regional. There's some rivalries already in place with UTSA and some of the schools in North Texas, La Tech. For you, I know it's still relatively new. Is there a school that you would say is a circle in the calendar type program that you guys really want to beat? I know Texas State, for example, is on the schedule this year. Still early, I know, but is there a regional team that you would say is a team you have circled on the calendar?
Y'all are gonna like me for a lot of things, and these is one of those things y'all are gonna hate me because you know what I'm. Y'all, I bet y'all all three kicked it around and go, I already know what he's gonna say.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's y'all are gonna puke when I say it, but we're gonna play them one at a time. I mean, we really are. We just can't get too high. We can't get too low. Here's what I know: those kind of situations usually work themselves out, and you know who those guys are. My kids know the locker room's different. The week of practice is different. I don't have to say much those weeks. It's the other weeks you got to get them ready to play, and we can't be that way. We've got to be steady. And I learned that the hard way. My very first game I ever coached in my life, we played the Gladewater Bears. They were number 3 in the state. We hadn't been ranked in 100 years. And it was a packed house. My first year to ever be a head coach, right? I'm 30 years old, and we shock them. We upset them. My very first win ever. I still have the game ball. I thought I invented football. I thought I put the air in the ball because it was our rivalry game. I was so young and naive. We had kids miss practice the next week. We had kids not show up to play hooks. Hooks wasn't nearly as good. Home of Billy Sims. They took us out and beat us to death. And they were not near as good as Gladewater. But I learned at a very young age, you can't get too high, you can't get too low. And I know that's not what you wanted to hear on that answer, and I apologize. But I'm just being very truthful with you right now.
Well, Coach,
but let's say this. We know who we're recruiting against, and we know who we're battling right now. We take certain joys in getting certain kids over certain schools. I will say that.
There you go. Coach, I'm sure you got some other Zoom calls and FaceTimes and phone calls to make tonight, so we'll try to get you out of here pretty soon. But we got a rule on our podcast. Anytime we bring a guest in, we got to ask a food question. I'm sure you understand. So we got to know, when you're out recruiting, you're on the road in Texas, what's your number one spot you look forward to the most when you're out on the road?
Man, y'all
What area of Texas?
Yeah, seriously.
I haven't got to go to a ton of places because I didn't get to, I didn't get to get out very much because I recruited the entire time. Then I got locked down. Coach Coker took me to a spot that I really love called the Grill here out towards where we live and towards down I-10 in San Antonio, outside the college there. I really love that place. I've had a ton of Tex-Mex, a ton of barbecue. When I'm in East Texas, in that area, Bodacious barbecue is good.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I'm a big barbecue and Tex-Mex, so I'm in the right spot. That's for sure. I haven't got to go to many of them, honestly. I love sushi too now. I love me some sushi. So, I don't know if I answered your question very good, but Bodacious, Grill, and Tex-Mex and barbecue, I'm in good shape.
Excellent.
And y'all give me y'all's list now. Y'all know.
I was gonna say we're gonna put a collective list together of places that you got to hit up around the area. That way you're covered on all your bases.
And then next time we can talk, and I'll give you the update on how they were.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Nice.
Food review with Coach Traylor. We're gonna call it.
There we go. There we go. We're all bored right now. We're all looking for stuff to talk about.
Awesome.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for your time. I mean, I think we all really enjoyed it. I got a lot of comments here in the comment section of people raving about it, and I see some birds up out there on the video screen. So, thanks again. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And
Thanks, Coach.
Stay safe, and we'll keep your family in our thoughts and prayers, and you guys stay safe. And we're looking forward to seeing your team out in the field.
Are we off the record right now, or are there people still listening to us right now?
Oh, they're still listening.
I would just, that's the one thing I'd say is believe it or not, everything y'all write, every tweet that goes out, those recruits are looking at it. So as frustrated as we all might get, when we put something out negative about UTSA, that hurts us. It hurts all of us. And I don't need a bunch of homers. I get it. Y'all got y'all's job to do. I totally understand it. But I just want you to know how important what y'all do is awesome because y'all been so supportive, and it's helped us with recruiting. And our kids can quote retweet y'all stuff, and then we can retweet it. So when it's positive, it helps me. Now, I don't spend my time reading all that stuff because I'd go crazy, but I know my kids do. I know my players do because they let me know what y'all are saying. So to all the fans out there, I know I've said it from the beginning. Every like, every retweet, everything positive that can be said about this city and this university helps in recruiting. And players win ball games, and we got to go recruit and develop and go win some ball games. So I wanted to make sure everybody heard me say that's very important to me. And I repeat, I know y'all have jobs to do too. I'm not asking y'all to be homers, but it does help when it's positive.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time. We'll let you run. If everyone on the call wants to stick around, feel free. We'll keep this thing up and running for a while. If you guys just want to hang out and chat, we'll unmute you guys here in a second. And thanks again, Coach, for coming out. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all. Birds up. God bless.